On this episode of The Best of Bias, you got me, Lydell Dinero, and a whole bunch of pop culture topics that you know you want to hear about. You already know what it is. We got a lot of shit to talk about today. Excuse me, I'm already starting off with the cussing. I told you guys I'd stop, man. I'm trying. Y'all got to keep me in check, man. I'm trying to calm down with the potty mouth, you know. But anyways, we got the women's NCAA championship to talk about. LSU did their thing against Iowa. The UConn men won the national championship also against SDSU. Some NBA rule changes for awards and stuff that's going to be happening that the NBA and the NBA PA, I believe, agreed on. So we'll talk about some of that. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about prize picks, sports gambling a little bit, and kind of like its effect on my life and some of my friends' life over the last couple of months. You know what I'm saying? So try to see if y'all be interested in a little bit of sports gambling talk. I know gambling is not really something you really want to get into. You know what I'm saying? Play responsibly. People work hard for your money. You don't want to be throwing it away. But we'll talk a little bit about that too. If you like it, you can, put a little bit of money in and try it. I might throw my promo code out there for y'all. Actually, I ain't got one of those. But if I hit me up, I can give you my reference code and then you can, get your money matched. But we'll talk about that when that comes up. We'll talk a little bit about all these countries coming together to kind of go against America in different kind of ways, whether it be currency or not messing with us in regards to oil. So we'll talk a little bit about that, not too much because, not too much on that because I'm not that political, but it is going to affect us soon. So I want you guys to know about it if you haven't heard about it. You know how I do it. Jonathan Majors update real quick. I'll get there. And then we got Cinema Corner. This episode's probably going to be mostly Cinema Corner. It's just me today, but I've seen a lot of trailers and I've been watching some shows. So I got some stuff for y'all I want to go over. So it's not going to be a boring episode just because it's only me. We got a lot of stuff to talk about and I'm going to be talking about it. So I'm glad you're here. New listeners, welcome to the family that's always been here. Welcome back. We about to get down today. It's Friday. Oh, man. Sorry about not having the video last week. We running a little technical difficulties on the visual side, but this week, hopefully we're getting the video out to you on YouTube. But yeah, it's the Best of Bias podcast. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'm not gonna just sit here and waste y'all time. So let's get right to it and where my theme song at, boy. It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast with Lydell Dinero and Hugo Twilight.
Welcome back. Welcome in. Howdy. You know what I'm saying? What the hell is up? Hopefully hell is not a bad word. You can say it on TV. You should be able to say it on YouTube. But yeah, what's up, everybody? It's Friday. It's your boy, Lydell Dinero. Again, as you can see, it's just me in the pop palace, you know what I'm saying, the stew, giving y'all some pop culture topics that y'all always also want, and I'm always also happy to give it to you, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff to talk about, as you heard in the preview, so I'm not going to just go ahead and repeat it. I'm just going to get right to it. Everything that everybody's talking about right now, pop culture-wise, we saw the Women's National Championship, one of the biggest draws this year as far as sports events go, live sporting events. It was a great game. The teams are great. The girls were great. The women, excuse me, not girls. The women that were playing in the game were great individually, and I'll get into all that. But you know what I'm saying? We should be celebrating LSU. It's their first time ever winning a national championship in basketball, men or women. It's definitely something to be kind of like congratulating, but we kind of got it overshadowed by some hate. I feel like we're gonna call it hate because that's what it is, man. We know Iowa was playing LSU in the women's national championship this last weekend, and LSU throughout the tournament, I didn't watch the tournament too closely or the women's basketball season too closely, but I did see a lot on social media, the LSU women's team, how they was coming up, and they were a little different, you know what I mean? Just some sisters out there getting it in, winning basketball games and really braggadocious about it, which is definitely okay. But white America didn't like to see that, man. They were calling them ghetto, loud, kind of ratchet, just talking about how they looked out there in the court because they like to look nice as they balled. And a lot of people traditionally, I don't know, I guess they weren't used to seeing that and being these women being so good. I don't really know the backstory too much about it, but basically it was a bunch of racism going around, especially when it came to LSU and the team being so good and, letting people hear about how good they are. So when we get to the national championship, there was kind of build up to it because Caitlin Clark is the hottest women's basketball player this year in the league, averaging like 30 points and stuff, shooting like Steph Curry, pulling up off of screens it's just like Steph. Everybody was calling her the female version of Steph Curry. So she was going through teams in the March Madness tournament that Iowa probably has never beaten before. They beat the undefeated South Carolina Lady Gamecocks, who were undefeated all season, and they beat them to get to, I think, the final game. But Caitlin Clark is one of those people who likes to brag and is really braggadocious as well, and talk shit to play. Oh, there's my customer. Damn it. Another one. Yeah, she likes to talk mess to players as she's in the game, which usually happens, and which is not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I do it in the rec. Professional athletes do it all the time in male sports. So to see it in female sports shouldn't be any different or taken any differently, you know what I mean? But Caitlin Clark is out there doing her thing, balling out, and she's letting the other team hear about it, talking mess, doing the John Cena, people call it Tony Ayo thing too, whoever started it, I don't know. They're calling it the You Can't See Me, and talking mess to all the players on the other team, talking mess to the girl on Texas Tech, talking mess to the girls on South Carolina as they beat him, not guarding them at the 3-point line, kind of trying to embarrass them. And the LSU women, after South Carolina lost, were kind of talking mess before the game, saying that Caitlin Clark's not gonna come out here and disrespect us like they disrespected South Carolina. She was talking a lot of mess, and I mean, again, she is getting really far, doing well for her school. She's one of the hottest players in the women's tournament, so she can talk her talk. She's balling, she can back it up. But once they get to the national championship, LSU is balling out on them the whole game. They're at the beginning of the game, they get off to like a 15-point lead. I think it's like 15 at halftime. Let's see, I got some stats here. LaDasia Williams, 20 points. Her mid-range jumper was so wet. I've never seen anything like it. Every time she got the ball, I was thinking like, okay, maybe you can kick it out or something, pass it around, get some plays going. But she would just pull up 18, 17 feet, bam, buckets, buckets, buckets. I was like, dang, okay. And then who else we have? Angel Reese. Of course, we all know Angel Reese. She's their center. She has the whole one leg sleeve. She's swaggy out there, and she talks a lot, like a lot of centers do. Centers are supposed to talk the mess. They're supposed to be enforcers on the team. So I don't know why everybody hated on her so bad for that. White America kind of didn't like how she was talking all that mess and winning and getting the national spotlight and stuff like that. So when it came to this game, and Caitlin Clark was talking mess to every team that she beat on the way to this game, and LSU actually has a chance to talk shit because they're actually winning. The viewers and the fans of Iowa who wanted Caitlin Clark to win the national championship just talked so much mess throughout the game and after the game when LSU ended up winning. But me personally, I congratulate all the women on the team. I don't know them all by name, but I know some that was balling. Alexis Morris, LaDasia Williams, Angel Reese. I forgot her first name, but Carson out there, first half, hitting all those threes, helping them get that big lead. Caitlin Clark did have 30 points in the game, but she didn't have enough to win. And then after, they made a little comeback, almost came back and beat LSU. Not beat, but tied the game towards the third quarter or so. But then the LSU just pulled away again. Angel Reese got in foul trouble at the beginning of the game. The referees are calling crazy fouls for both teams. It was kind of ridiculous to actually see the refs were just kind of taken away from the game. But ultimately, LSU was able to win, just kind of putting a stamp on it. And then everybody was mad about Angel Reese doing the whole finger thing, give me, ring me, you know what I'm saying, and doing the You Can't See Me to Caitlin Clark as she was walking off the court and as she was winning. I mean, talk your talk, man. If this girl has been talking mess to everybody in the league, in the tournament, and beating everybody, and she can talk that mess when she wins, I think LSU has their reason to too. And then people in the media kind of talking mess about LSU and how they handled it. I don't think that's really necessary. First of all, you're talking about young women who just won a national championship. And Dave Portnoy out there is calling them a classless pieces of shit. Like, that's a grown ass man talking shit to some young women, you know what I mean? And not even that, it's more racially motivated in my eyes because they're just mad that Caitlin Clark didn't win. And if Caitlin Clark would have been out there celebrating and talking mess to people as they lost, they wouldn't have been saying nothing at all. So it's just kind of weird how the double standard is, how when Caitlin Clark does it, it's cool. But when LSU, Angel Reese, Alexis Morris out there taunting and stuff too, then they're ratchet. They're not sportsmen. They sportswomen. I don't know if that's what I don't know how you say it with that, but either way, I feel like it's just hate and it's racially motivated. You know what I'm saying? Because we've seen a lot of white braggadocious people and they love it, but Ric Flair, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the people I look to the most. Super braggadocious white guy, everybody loved him. But if there was a black dude that was like that saying the shit that he said, everybody would probably hate him in white America. But not to get too racy and shit. Congratulations to Angel Reese, Lex Morris, LaDasia Williams, all the ladies on the LSU Lady Tigers. The coach, I don't really know your name right now, but I heard you may be on some kind of racist stuff, so I don't really look too much into her. I don't want to, but she's responsible for it. I think this is her first year there. She brought some players over. She was at Baylor for a while, and she was able to get a national championship. Again, it's the first national championship, and this was like one of the most watched sports, again, like I said, sporting events in a long time. 9.9 million viewers, you know what I mean? It was a lot, and I think this really helped the game of basketball for the women's WNBA, but NCAA women's basketball and WNBA too, because we like to see, players come from college to NBA and keep following them. You see, I got my jersey on right now. Sabrina was one of my favorite players over there at Oregon at my school of choice. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go there, but that's the school I rep. But anyways, I'll get into that some other day. But yeah, man, shout out to them. It really did overshadow the men's national championship, though. But I feel like everybody kind of knew UConn was going to win. They ran through the tournament, won every game in the tournament by double digits. That boy, Adama Sadongo, was too much. He was most outstanding player in the tournament, had a double-double, like 4 games while he was, in Ramadan, couldn't eat no food out there, just balling on people. Double-doubles all day, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 14 points, 10 rebounds, just getting it in. It's just kind of crazy. But yeah, SDS, you had a good run. I was in San Diego watching all the fans kind of enjoy San Diego State being out there in the tournament and kind of like getting so far. National championship, that's wild. You know what I'm saying? There's high expectations for the team now. The tournament's so hard to get there, man. I didn't really pay that much attention to it this year because, of course, Oregon wasn't in it. They're in the NIT and blew it. But it's cool. I mean, college basketball, March Madness is all the rage. I'm happy that the women's championship was able to bring some eyes back to the tournament. I know since none of the blue bloods were really in the men's tournament that nobody really watched. So I'm happy that at least some of it was watched with the females championship getting so many views. It's kind of crazy. And congratulations again to LSU for their first ever national championship for the basketball, and UConn men's one of many. But congratulations to you again, to you as well. It's the first time in a while, so congratulations. Next, we talking about some NBA changes. The NBA PA, Players Association or whatever, and the NBA, Adam Silver, the commissioner, got together and changed some rules around. I don't really know all of them, but I got a couple that I want to talk about mainly, starting with the minimum amount of games that you have to play to be considered for any of the NBA awards. This one was kind of controversial because, well, considering this year's MVP running and the last couple of years MVP running and stuff like that, players have to play a minimum of 65 games to be even considered for the award. So out of 82 games, you got to play at least 65. Jokic has no problem with that, so he could probably win it every year if he wanted to. But all these players that be getting hurt or like just sitting out games just to sit out games, it's going to actually cost you something now. So I think that's pretty cool. It kind of motivates people to actually get in the games and play. Ticket holders will actually appreciate that as well. And if you want to be great and win these awards for playing great in this season, you better play, boy. You probably get those stats up, get them, show love, and they'll show love back. But this is really big for MVP because Embiid for the last couple of years has been really good. But one of the gripes against him is that he doesn't play like all the games. He doesn't play many at all. He's hurt a lot for many reasons. A lot of players that are actually really, really good get taken out of consideration for being hurt or just not playing enough games. So this is a way to kind of like justify that, especially if a player is just out for the beginning of the season, just balls out from in the middle of the season and just kind of balls out towards the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? You got to play a certain amount of games just to, I don't know, I guess they're just trying to make it easier on voters because this year they have a crazy ass decision between Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. So, you put that misnomer in there, then it's probably easier for the voters to pick. I don't know, but I think it kind of motivates players to play, and that's a good thing. And then there's the positionless all pro teams, which I thought was kind of weird. I feel like this is another reason, another thing that is Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis motivated because they all play kind of like a center position, and you can't put them all on the same all first NBA team, even though they may deserve it. So they kind of, somebody has to get first team, somebody has to get second team, somebody has to get third team, and they all may be hella good and be balling high, like better than everybody else on the, in the league. But since the center position is kind of only reserved for one person, you have to just kind of decide between, you know, all three, and especially if the person that wins the MVP is a center, they're probably almost automatically going to get an all pro first team for that too, even if I don't know, man, because it's kind of hard to say if somebody's having a better season than the MVP technically, but there's always somebody playing better than the MVP. They just can't, they either don't give it to them or it's kind of like voters fatigue, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, but I think it's something that's kind of motivated by Embiid not being on first team the last 2 years because Jokic has been better than him, or people are voting Jokic in there, so he's not able to get it. I mean, sometimes it could be contract latent or incentivized. So if a player has to make an all first team, all pro team to get like $2 million, and they can't make it because your position is just loaded with great players, and it just sucks. But it is kind of weird to have positionless because then what if Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis all win first team for playing hella good? Then you basically have three centers and a team of five for all first team. I don't know. That can get sticky, man, because you mess around and have 4 or 5 centers, power forwards, all be playing the best throughout the season, and it's kind of like a consolation prize to MVP. It's like you don't win MVP, but all the runners up for MVP are gonna be all first team, all pro first team. Like that's what it kind of seems like as well, and that can get tricky. I don't know. What you guys think about these rule changes? I think it's kind of cool. I don't know, but hey, it could help with some of the voting stuff. Like this year, I'm talking about it now because the race is probably over. The MVP race is really close. In the beginning, Giannis was sitting out a lot of games, so he wasn't really considered. But after a while, he did get back in the game and just start balling out crazy, crazy. Embiid has been like scoring, averaging like 37 points this whole season as a center, which is pretty crazy as well. His usage is just really high in my opinion. I don't want to get into hating. It's just, man, if Jokic got as many free throws as Embiid got, I don't know. People say that's his aggression. He does have a silky jump shot. I'm not gonna stunt. He from right now it's like 18, 17 feet, 15 feet. He can make anything. Driving to the hoop, he can make anything. And I think the defense is what takes him over the top as far as this year's MVP. But when we get to the Jokic side, I'm not even gonna stunt. His offensive IQ is just off the charts. His passing, he can score at will if he wanted to, but he's more of a passer. He's a center, so he gets rebounds. But I wish he cared more about his defense, because if he had better defense, that would kind of even the playing field a little bit. Because Jokic scores too, he gets his buckets too, and it could score as much as Embiid is scoring, but he rather pass and set people up. But I feel like people credit those points more than those assists. I mean, he almost averaged a triple double this year as a center, and that really doesn't matter as much as scoring like 50 points. You know what I mean? And sometimes, he's not the most flashy. He's not going to dunk on everybody, but he will give you 40, 15, and 20 assists on any given night if he wanted to. But you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's just a different style of player. And I think Embiid, after not winning the award that he so coveted after this many years, it's like he really wants it. And I would too. And I would too. I mean, it doesn't justify how good he is. He doesn't need that award for people to say that he's one of the best centers of all time. He doesn't need that. But the way that he acts, though, it's just it just rubs me the wrong way. It's like if you lose something, don't talk shit about losing it. Just try harder and maybe you'll get it next time. And if you cry and cry and cry enough, it's just like this year, the smear campaign, it was just so weird to me. Like it just became okay. Jokic won it twice, good for him. To this third time, it's like if he wins, it's the stupidest thing ever because he pales in comparison to Joel Embiid. It's like, come on, bro. We don't have to do that. These guys are definitely good in their own ways. But I mean, I'm telling you, if Jokic cared about basketball as much as Embiid did at all times, it would be a different story. Jokic is just he switches on like 80% of the time, but 20% of the time he can care less. He wants to go home and back to Serbia and ride his horses and shit like that. But yeah, we're blessed to have him. I'm sure he's only 26, maybe 27 now. So he has a bunch of years to get better and better. And I know his game's going to advance, you know what I'm saying? But it's good for Embiid to have it now. I know I've been putting a lot of hate on him this year, but his game is dope. You know what I'm saying? His game is really dope. That's all I can say because I'm not gonna say he's better than Jokic. He just has a different game than Jokic, and there's different strokes for different folks. Pause, if you know what I mean. Like it's a different flavor of basketballs. If you like a dude that goes out there and just gets buckets all day, it can just score at will and just do what he wants, especially just being the focal point and just taking shots, have 29 shots to somebody else's 16. Or a guy that's going to play ball. He can get buckets to help your team win, but also set everybody else up as well and do all that. I think I like that's the type of player that I actually am. I like to pass. I like to set people up. I can get a bucket, but it's like, okay, what if my homies get these buckets? What if my teammates get these buckets too? And I feel like that helps the team camaraderie and it just ultimately makes for a happier team. I feel it. And Embiid's the star on the Philadelphia 76ers, but at a certain point, everybody else wants to score too and play too. Shit. I mean, James Harden easily can take a back seat because he just needs to win a championship because he's been so good in the regular season, but when we get to playoffs, he just kind of falls short all the time. So he's like, okay, go ahead and beat. If you can just score a million points and this get us the win, then we're good. But man, if I was Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, who else is on the team that don't get no shots? I mean, you do when the Joel Embiid sits, but during this run for MVP, it's like a lot of the season the players didn't really get to do much. Maxey should be starting, you know what I mean? But he doesn't. And then when he comes in and balls, I mean, I think that is in lieu of either Embiid being out or it's after Embiid did all his work and he's sitting down and it's time for Maxey to actually do his thing. But man, I'm off that. Embiid had a 50-point game against the Celtics last night, which probably solidified the MVP. Jokic, we lost to the Rockets last night by 21. Jokic sat out the last 3 games, came back. There's no excuse. There's no excuse at all for losing to them because if we would have won, we would have clinched. And I know the Grizzlies probably won today, and they're going to make us earn our victory, which is really whack. Oh, shoot. The Pelicans are winning. Let me not hold you. And I'm not even gonna look because I'm not watching. And if I'm not watching, maybe we can do this because if the Pelicans lose, I think the Nuggets clinch. So I'm not even gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch at all. But yeah, man, the playoffs is coming up. Embiid's probably gonna win MVP. But I'm hoping this kind of takes all of Jokic's focus off of the MVP and all the hate that he's getting and he can just focus on the playoffs, get right for the playoffs, and remind everybody why we're the #1 seed, all the work it took to get here. We might be taking our foot off the gas towards the end of the season, but it's not indicative of what we're going to do in the playoffs. So these playoff series is getting close. There's only 4 games left. All these teams in the West are really, really close, jockeying for position. For the 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, and 8 seed. The play-in tournament is going to be cool. The Lakers are turning it around. They're the 6th seed right now, or they may be the 7th seed, and they're playing the Clippers tonight. I'm recording this on a Wednesday for the 6th seed. So if they can lock in there, that'll be dope. And Clippers probably going to get 7, Warriors 5. And then they're going to battle it out. You know, Thunder, Timberwolves, Pelicans, and whoever else is down, they're going to have to battle it out for the play-in to see who the Nuggets play. But I think it's going to be some great first round series. We'll have the Suns versus the Warriors. We'll have the Kings versus the Lakers, and they'll have the Clippers versus the Grizzlies. And then whoever the Nuggets end up playing, it'll be epic if we play the Timberwolves because we always have good series against them. I don't really want to play the Pelicans that much, and I don't really want to play who's the other team? The Thunder at all, because SGA be getting on us. And if that team comes together, they've been doing some stuff down there. But I don't think we'll lose to the Thunder, but I'm just trying to get to a team that will make it, it'll be the easiest to beat. That would probably be the team that's easiest to beat because they don't really have a traditional center. And then because I know Cat's on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I know that the Pelicans, if they get Zion back, and they have a lot of length, so I don't know what would happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what would happen, but playoffs is coming soon. 4 games left. I'll probably tune in, have a playoff special, and talk a little bit before the games start. So give some predictions and stuff like that. And like, sorry, I was yawning a little bit on the inside, but yeah, and give some predictions of what I think will happen with the Nuggets. So one more week of basketball, maybe a week and a half, and then we got the play-in, and then the actual tournament starts. So that's basketball. Let's talk a little bit about this sports gambling. Okay, let me start by saying again, I'm not promoting sports gambling. I'm not trying to tell you guys to go out there, throw all your money around on sports gambling and just end up broke. I'm just telling you guys to give it a chance. And Prize Picks, I know I don't, I'm not I'm not on the team or nothing, but if you guys want to sponsor us, give me a little discount code. You know what I'm saying? I can do that because I'm gonna give y'all a segment right now. I'm giving y'all some love right now. So I want y'all to reciprocate that love and give it right back. And give it right back. Actually, I gotta check the score and see if ooh, they did it. They did it. Let's go. Pelicans in this thing, boy. Pelicans helping us clinch, baby. We can sit everybody to I'm not even gonna go there. Let me get back in here. Let me get back in here. I'll get my mojo back. We're talking about Prize Picks, so it kind of has to do with stuff like this. Prize Picks is an app you can download it. Sports gambling is not all the way legal in California yet, so Prize Picks is something that we have that we can do prop betting, which is legal in California. It's a system where you download the app, of course. And you can pick individual games and player props. So say we're talking NBA, you can pick up to a slip. We call it slips. We can take a slip from 2 to 6 players in any sport. So say I want to look at NBA and I want to take LeBron James for something. They'll have a whole bunch of props for LeBron James saying, okay, LeBron James tonight is projected to get 25.5 points. So if you like that and you think he can score about that many points, or you think he can't score that many points, you're confident that he won't, you just click on LeBron James and there's an option for more or less. So if you think LeBron James is going to score more than 25.5 points, you hit more. If you think if he's going to hit 25.5 or less than 25.5 points, you hit less, obviously, you know how that goes. And you can pick up to 6 different sports and their sports props. So say you want to do hockey. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you want Brent Burns shots on goal. His shots on goal are 2.5. You think he's gonna get 2.5? You think he's gonna get 3? So you put more for him. No, he was like, God, he ain't even hot right now. He gonna get less than that. You put less, and you can keep on stacking players in any sport until you get to 6. Once you get to 6, that's the maximum amount of money you can make, because what it is you put money towards this slip, and whatever money you put towards it, the winnings for that slip will be, I think, 10 times your money, depending on how you do it. So if you do flex play, it's called flex because if you pick a full thing of 6, you can still win money if you get 5 out of 6 right or 4 out of 6 right. If you do what's called a power play, it's all or nothing. So if you don't get them all correct 100%, you lose all of it and you don't get any money back. So you got to decide that. And then also they have different payouts. So I think power play is 10 times your money. And then flex play is 5 times your money. So if you put in, make the math. I usually, you can put in like just $5 for a 6-man play and you can get back $125. You know what I'm saying? So it's a cool thing to try out, especially if you're really into sports and you track sports, because all you do is like, okay, maybe this person will score these points, maybe they won't. It's a fun little thing to do, and it's fun to do the research for me. I was supposed to get the boys on here to get a conversation going back and forth so they can help me explain, but maybe we'll table it for another time. But if you're out there listening, boys, you already know it's good. Tell your friends that you're listening to this podcast with how it goes. Um, our group chat's probably hella annoyed because we be passing stats and what we be doing all day long trying to win this money. But we've hit before. There's people in our group chat has hit for $300, $1,000, $400. Like there's a bunch of stuff you can win just by putting together little groupings of players that you know are going to win, that you have expertise on the sport. You can just put those players and what you think is going to happen. And if it turns out right, you can win a whole bunch of money by just betting $10. So give it a try. Take a look at it. Look it up. It's the biggest thing, and you'll probably see a commercial about it tomorrow. You probably go on Instagram, look in the algorithm right now. It'll probably be right there for you as well. Any wherever you watching this, you probably see that soon. Probably a little ad's gonna pop up about Prize Picks right now just because we're talking about it. But yeah, check it out yourselves. And again, we're gonna get the boys on here to talk more about it. Because we do it a lot. We've been winning some money, especially my other boys. Me, I haven't been winning as much money as them. So that's why I want them to get on here and talk about their process, how they pick, why they pick the way they do, some strategies to help you guys. And we'll get like a segment going kind of weekly, just maybe giving some advice on who we're picking, what slips we're gonna do. There's a lot of videos out there with people like that doing research and helping people win out there. But you know what I'm saying? Again, we're not trying to give any financial advice, not give you, not trying to make you do anything. We're just going to tell you what we doing because we play. And if you guys want to, do what we do or just kind of get down and try to see if those picks that we're making will work, you just go ahead and do it. But we'll get them on here and we'll make more concise picks. We'll have different slips for you guys, different strategies, like I said, and maybe we can win some money together and be even a closer family. But you can't let it break us up because money is the root of all evil sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm not an expert, but we won a little bit. So if you're down for the get down, you can get down with the get down. But if you don't want to, I don't want you typing under these chats under the comments, oh, Pastor gave me this advice and I'm broke now and I'm living on the streets. Hey, bro, I didn't tell you to do all that. I was just trying to give you some fun advice on how to make some money watching sports sitting around the way we always do. But anyways, let's get a little political. I'm not very political, so this topic probably won't last very long at all. I know you guys been hearing about these countries all getting together to kind of try to embarrass America. They're trying to say that we're not going to use U.S. currency anymore. We're not going to respect it in our countries, and we're not going to mess with America when it comes to oil. We're going to get our oil straight from here and not even do any dwellings with them. Kind of trying to either embarrass us or trying to cripple our economy. It's kind of interesting to me to see because it seems like a lot of countries that are, I wouldn't say enemies, or just not our allies, are kind of teaming up to kind of try to do this, to kind of insinuate that they're trying to get something popping. I don't like that too much. And we haven't really heard any response from America on what they're going to do about it. But it seems like every day I hear about another country that's going on and trying to go against American currency. Like, I don't really understand what that means. We come to that country, they ain't gonna be able to, they said, take our money and rip it in half and just step on it or some shit. Or just like, you can't even exchange it here. I guess they're just calling it worthless. That's kind of crazy. Because I feel like that's how they kind of buy supplies from other countries, right? They would give them American dollars, and I guess they're like, we're not going to barter with you at all if you don't have our kind of money. I don't know. I just feel like it has really big implications, and we haven't heard anything from America. At least I didn't see it on social media about how we're going to respond. But again, I'm not the biggest political guy in the world, but the countries that are getting down with the get down are kind of crazy. China, Iran, Russia, Japan, and some African countries, Japan. It's like, it's just weird. It's just weird. And it's just like, seems like it's happening before our eyes and nothing has been done about it. And I'm not saying we should go to war, but I feel like we should be at least lie to us and tell us what's going on over there, saying that they're doing something that they're actually not doing. They're not saying nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of like making us look weak and just making it seem like they're just slapping us in the face and we're not going to do anything, which could insinuate other things when it comes to other things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it out loud, but you already know what I'm thinking. So, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on because I feel like other presidents would have. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm just saying. I hope you guys are hearing about this, and I hope you guys are actually, just watching the news and seeing about how things are changing. I know people don't really like the news because it's all negative and stuff. Me being one of those people, but it's always good to be, you should know, informed. You can make your own judgments and all that, but just know what's out there because you don't want to be surprised with shit like that when shit goes down. Just stay informed, stay up to date, whatever source you want to go to get that information. Just make sure you're taking in this information so that you're able to kind of have an idea what's going down. I know ignorance is bliss sometimes, but sometimes that shit can get you messed up. You know what I mean? Jonathan Majors update. So we did talk a little bit about Jonathan Majors, me and Damo last episode. And we were like holding back judgment till more facts came out and stuff like that. And recently, in lieu of those allegations and stuff like that, we got some text messages from the lawyer, from the female companion who supposedly was saying on the text message that I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry that my actions got you in trouble. I know the police had to be called and they had to arrest you because it's New York law, la la la. It was just kind of weird though, because I don't know. It just seems like, man, we didn't need to see this. We could have left this behind closed doors. No videos or any sound bites have come out yet. So putting this text message out is kind of preemptive, and I feel like it kind of hurt more than it helped because it just seemed like she was doing that for him not to get in trouble, and something actually did happen, but she doesn't want him to get in trouble, so she's saying this, and then the lawyer goes and is like, see, she doesn't care. Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of proves that there was a situation and stuff is going down, and I don't want anybody to kind of look into the past, you know what I'm saying? If you were kind of quiet about it and just let the thing go by the wayside, I mean, it wasn't gonna go by the wayside, but it was going. But I don't think the messages that are coming out are gonna actually help, and. But again, until we see all the evidence, I still support Jonathan Majors. They always want to see a black man fail. I'm just playing. They do though, but I don't know if that's the situation because he could have possibly done it. But I hope it's not true because I like Jonathan Majors, and of course, I'm a Marvel head, and me and Damo talked about how intricate he is to the whole Marvel's next phase. But that doesn't overweigh domestic violence. You know what I mean? We can't have that going on. If he actually was beating people up and stuff like that, then there has to be the court has justice has to take its course. But otherwise, man, stop trying to spear his name. I'm just playing. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I'm just out here talking mess. It's the bias that I say. It's not always the best bias. Actually, yes, it is. That's the title of the podcast. So forget even I said that. Shall we get into some cinema corner? Cinema corner? Should we get into cinema corner? Cinema corner? Let's talk some cinema corner. What should we start with? Should we start with trailers and stuff? Let me get something going real quick. Should we start with some trailers? Yeah. Let's talk trailers. You know what I'm saying? What we got? So let's start with some trailers that came out. There's a lot of trailers that came out this weekend during baseball, or actually the week after too. Just slowly dropping stuff because it's the summer blockbuster time. Dual cameras. Let me get this camera out of my face. But it is blockbuster time. Summertime is here. The movies are gonna start hitting you fast and in a hurry. But this is a TV show, highly anticipated TV show. Me personally, that I'm ready to see. Marvel Secret Invasion hitting us June 21st. We saw that trailer and kind of got a first glance of what the actual show is going to be about. And it's kind of cool, man. It's like one of the first ones that don't really have a superhero kind of embedded in it that kind of get us excited. It's that old spy show, Nick Fury, Winter Soldier kind of vibes. And we get to see Nick Fury, what happens after he's been gone 30 years trying to find the Skrulls a home. It looks to me that he doesn't find a home for them, and they kind of get tired of waiting. I heard kind of like some spoilers that some of the Skrulls just say, forget it, I'm not ready to keep flying around in space to these planets that ain't inhabitable. So we're gonna fight it out for Earth, and we're gonna try to take it over. People saying they're gonna try to play on Russian and American war so that the world they can destroy each other, and the scrolls can kind of take over and create the world from a new type of thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's Marvel, you feel me? So I'm ready for it to be back. I'm ready to see what Nick Fury has been doing. It's been a while since we've seen Nick Fury. Again, and I think it was Captain Marvel. He went up to space and stuff to help to try to find the scrolls a home, and that was in the 90s. I think that was in the 90s or something like that, or was that after? Yeah, that was. Yeah, I think that's what happened after, or was it after Endgame? It was. I think it was after Captain Marvel. So from the 90s to about 2023, so it's about 30 years. So I see why those scrolls can be mad, but yeah, another Marvel show. It's been a while. We're gonna get Guardians of the Galaxy before that, but I'm excited to see what's gonna go down. We saw a lot of explosions. We didn't necessarily see the scrolls change into really much anything, or see the actual scrolls base body type or nothing like that. We saw them, duplicating the people. If you see the comic, know this comics and stuff like that, you know what the scrolls look like. But it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what cameos are in it, because it could be a superhero in it. It could be I don't know. We got a whole bunch of young Avengers that are probably gonna hop into stuff, so we never know exactly what's gonna happen. But I'm excited to see it. You know what I'm saying? Nick Fury's back. I love me some Samuel L. Jackson. He can't be cussing like that in Marvel and stuff, but either way, Sam Jackson is that man. So he's not wearing the eye patch, so he got a little scratched out eye, looking kind of savage. And Sam Jackson's doing his thing. He's pretty old right now too, still out there doing action flicks. So I respect it. What other trailers came out? I seen the trailer for um Blue Beetle, DC. I think it's still a DCEU movie. I don't know if it's necessarily a DCU movie. Yeah, it's not James Gunn or anybody yet. It's still one of the movies that are getting made before the DCU actually kicks in. So it's still Blue Beetle, and then they have the Flash movie, and then the DCU is going to start. But the Blue Beetle, it's starring, his name is hard to say, Solo Mariduena. It's Miguel from Cobra Kai, basically. And it's pretty dope. It looks pretty dope. If you know the Blue Beetle, he pretty much his name is Jaime Reyes, I believe his name is in the comics. And basically he has this ancient scarab thing, Blue Beetle type thing, who he kind of gets, somehow gets on his spine, and it's like a sentient bodysuit. So it's kind of like Spider-Man mixed with like an Iron Man type of thing. But the suit can kind of like turn into any weapon he wants, and it kind of has a mind of its own at times like that. So it's kind of like Jarvis in a way from Iron Man, but it can just take over him, and he can just, until he learns how to control the scarab, it has a mind of its own, but it also helps him survive. You know what I mean? So the movie and the trailers look pretty cool. George Lopez is in that thing. A pretty cool concept. I'm not fond of the song choice they put for the movie. They used that I Just Want to Rock, which is like one of the most overplayed songs right now. It's not a bad song, don't get me wrong. It's just one of the most overplayed songs right now. And I have a big gripe with movies right now putting hip hop songs in these superhero trailers and having them sound ridiculous, and the placement of them is all wrong. Starting with that Shazam, the Eminem one, and then started from the bottom is just ugly. And the way they used I Just Want to Rock in this one, it was just bad. It's just bad. I get it. You're going to try to use the most popular songs for your trailers, but bro, let's get it better. Let's get better. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to the rock and roll songs, or pick a hip hop song that's from the past that nobody really knows right now, but don't use the most popular song, because the way you guys are cutting them up, oof, it's ugly, boy. But yeah, it should be kind of cool. The one that I looked at the most, or the trailer that I enjoyed the most, Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, Miles Morales. It's gonna be dope. Number two is gonna be dope. I see what they're trying to do in this one. It's number two. So in the first one, his uncle died. His dad found out that he was Spider-Man, his dad and mom. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the first one, my bad. But you should have seen the first one by now. But yeah. In this one, I think he's just trying to find himself now and just kind of balance being a kid and being Spider-Man, the old superhero, dilemma. Am I a kid? Am I a superhero? What do I do? Do I be a superhero? Do I be a regular person? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's the old school dilemma, the superhero's blight. Do I want to be super, or do I want to live my life and actually be able to have a relationship with people? My mom and dad will be in danger all the time because I'm a superhero type thing. But yeah, it's really interesting this time. Spider-Gwen comes and grabs them and lets them know that there's alternate universes. I know all these movies right now are dealing with the alternate universes and the multiverses and the different variants and stuff like that. But Spider-Gwen takes them into like this multiverse where there's a whole bunch of different Spider-Mans. He actually interacts with them all and he's overwhelmed by how many there is. And then, the main bad guy is Spider-Man 2099, voiced by Oscar Isaac, who's in everything. Now, him and Pablo Pascal are in every show and movie, which is nuts. Um, but yeah, it should be pretty good. Uh, I don't know what's gonna really happen. I've seen a bunch of trailers for it now, but I still don't know what the movie exactly is gonna be about. I just feel like he's gonna go into these different multiverses and he's gonna see all these different Spider-Mans and he's gonna try to find himself individually as a Spider-Man. He's gonna be there. It's like, oh, he's just like everybody else. Everybody here is Spider-Man, but he's gonna find deep down what makes him him and find his individuality and he's going to become himself and realize himself and he's going to be the best Spider-Man he can be type of thing. But I feel like seeing all these other Spider-Man, the artwork and the animation for me has always been the best in this iteration of Spider-Man. I'm a big fan of Miles Morales. If you guys saw my pop collection on the other side, I got a whole bunch of Miles Morales pops over there. We still haven't done that Funko Pop episode, but we're gonna do it soon. But yeah, it's gonna be in theaters June the 2nd. Blue Beetle is gonna hit the theaters August 18th of 2023. Across the Spider-Verse June 2nd, 2023. So that's gonna be coming soon. Has a whole bunch of people in it. Like I said, Oscar Isaac, Spider-Man 2099. Jake Johnson, of course, was Peter Parker Spider-Man. Issa Rae, I think, is gonna play Scarlet Spider. So it's gonna be a whole bunch of cameos, a whole bunch of different Spider-Men and women. So it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be really good, and I'm excited to see it. Yeah. Next trailer. Are we doing Extraction? Oh no, Extraction. Oh man. If you guys haven't seen Extraction, Extraction 1's on Netflix. Chris Hemsworth, Thor. He's out there, he's a soldier, and it's just basically this action movie, which is nuts, has a crazy ass fighting scenes. It's just showing that Chris Hemsworth and Netflix, they got a whole bunch of movies together. I think what is it? The Spider Monkey or some weird shit about like social experiments and stuff as Chris Hemsworth in it too. But anyways, we're talking about this one right now. Let's stop that for a second. Extraction 1 was pretty dope. He had to save this boy from this foreign country. He was trying to get they're trying to kill him, but he is kind of like getting him through everybody, kind of like a spy, kind of super army type of movie. He's just killing everybody like John Wick and shit like that. The fighting scenes were just makes the movie. It's a big ass action movie. The Russo brothers made the first one. And number two, they're coming out with the second one. I mean, the trailer, you just see him at looks like a jail or a prison or something, and it's just like a riot in the prison, and he's just fighting his way through everybody. And he's trying to save a girl. I don't know why there'd be a woman in the prison, but he was trying to save a girl, and he was trying to fight through guards and convicts, it looks like, and he's just knocking people out, knocking the guards out, taking riot shields, knocking people out. There's at one point a Molotov cocktail was thrown at him. He was on fire, still beating people's ass. He gets knocked out at one point, and the girl gets taken, and he just kind of gets up, and then he just goes ham. It just reminds me so much of Extraction 1. It brings me back to that first movie and how epic it was. You know what I mean? The action scenes, I'm telling you, are on John Wick level. You need to check it out if you haven't seen it. There's not much dialogue, and the story wasn't too much in the first one. Actually, there's a lot of dialogue, but not too much. Like the story wasn't too amazing. It was just pretty straightforward, but the fighting scenes and just him taking on people one by one. There's one fight scene on the bridge that's just epic. But yeah, number two is out. What is it? June, I believe, or no? Yeah, June 16th. So again, all this stuff's coming out in the summer, man. You got to be fed in the summer because the sun's out. They're trying to get, well, Netflix is not trying to necessarily get everybody out the house, but all these movies coming out, all these TV shows coming out are to supply everybody in the fall because there's a little lull when it comes to the fall time. But actually, sports are in fall, but when you get to summer, is when everybody wants the movies to drop. You got to get all the TV shows out there. You want to get everybody to the television. They're just kind of some kind of viewing service because that's when, I don't know, just kind of the season when everybody drops. Okay, just leave me alone. Mandalorian. Let me get this on here real quick. I'm gonna do dual cameras one more time because the Mandalorian, I think it's episode 6, Guns for Hire this week, was off the chain. You know what I'm saying? How many Mandalorian fans I got out there? How many people out there be watching the Mandalorian? Because everybody I talk to be watching it. I mean, if you're not caught up by now, I mean, last week we talked about 2 episodes of it. So this week we talk about episode 6. This episode has some crazy cameos. Again, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. We had Lizzo and Jack Black being a couple of characters in this new episode. Captain Bombardier and the Duchess. We see them early in the episode. Him and Bo-Katan go to this planet. I don't know exactly what planet it is, but they don't allow no weapons. They don't allow nothing like that in there. But they let the Mandalorians carry the weapons in. They're like, why? Why are we doing this? Why we get to carry our weapons in if nobody likes to have weapons up in here? Once they get to them, they're like, you're the Mandalorian. Weapons are like your culture. You know what I'm saying? It's your religion to have weapons on you. You know, the Mandalorians are with the shiz. You know what I'm saying? So you guys can have your weapons if you want to, but really they brought them in there because they had some droids in there who were supposed to be decommissioned and weren't supposed to be battle ready, but they were causing havoc in the town because there's no weapons in the town, and the battle droids just kind of go haywire and they hurt people from time to time. So the Mandos go in there because there's always in these episodes, we always got to do the thing to do the thing to do the thing before we do the thing and do the thing. You know what I mean? So of course we're doing the thing right now to go try to do the thing before we do the thing. So they go and check which droids could possibly be malfunctioning and causing people trouble. It's a cool little scene, Mando just start because he doesn't like droids in the first place. So this mission is probably hella cool for him. He's like, oh yeah, we just gotta go kill some droids that are messing with everybody. Let's do it. So he was down from the get-go. But this episode was pretty cool because he had to kind of face the fact that again that not all droids are bad, even though he hates droids. He went to while he was doing his research, he saw that the scheme was deeper than that. He was kind of trying to frame the person that was doing it was kind of trying to frame the droids so they got decommissioned faster, so they can replace the droids with humans. And he kind of felt for the droids because he's like, man, we just want to live. We've been here longer than humans, and we will be here longer than humans, but they're trying to replace us with humans and just send us to the scrapyard. And the Mando is like, nah, see, there has to be some kind of deeper conspiracy. So they find you know, this guy that's behind it who was Doc Brown from Back to the Future. This episode was full of cameos. I was like, man, boom, boom, here, cameo here. Hey, you want a cameo? You got a cameo. It's a cameo for you, cameo for me. I was like, man. But I was really trying to see where Moff Gideon was and where these other Mandalorian were that were causing trouble and trying to split up the Mandalorian race because we want everybody, sorry, it's still dual cameras. I want everybody to be, you know, one Mandalorian core. There's not many of us left, you feel me? So we're trying to bring everybody back in together. But, you know, what's his name? Axe Wovis is who used to be part of the Night Owls with Bo-Katan. He took a faction of the Night Owls and just went off and they started doing their own things, becoming their own bounty hunters for hire. And Bo-Katan was by herself. But now Bo-Katan is reborn and she's with the Mandalorian way of life now. So she wants her crew back and she wants to bring all the Mandalorians together because that is her way. That is the walk that she must take. You know what I mean? But, you know, there's haters everywhere. There's haters everywhere. Axe Wovis, he doesn't want to give up the faction of the Night Owls to come back and hang out on Navarro now. That's where all the Mandalorians are. That's their new home planet. So they're trying to bring all the Mandalorians back there so they can just get together and, you know, just bring everyone back to the way. You know what I mean? But he puts up a fight. He wants to fight Bo-Katan for the right to command the Night Owls. Of course, Bo-Katan wins, and he talks mess to her about becoming the leader of the Mandalorians, how she can't become the leader of the Mandalorians because she doesn't wield the dark saber. And the Mando is like, she does wield the dark saber, stupid ass boy. He does. She does wield the dark saber. I was captured and I was disarmed by this robot creature, and then she saved me from the robot creature and defeated him. So therefore, the dark saber belongs to her. So he found like a loophole to get her to be able to be the leader of the Mandalorians and get the Night Owls to be on her side and just kind of unify that little mini faction so they can bring all all the Mandalorians who are at war against each other, like civil war against each other, to kind of try to bring them back together, which I thought was really cool. So we were able to see Bo-Katan mend her fences and get back and get back with their people. And we also saw Mando kind of get over his hate of droids. And actually, I don't know if he got over the hate of it, but I feel like he was able to understand droids a little bit more. And, for the fact that he was able to actually trust the droid to be in his ship and a whole bunch of stuff, I think slowly he's going to be able to not hate him as much as he used to, which I think is tight. And I knew Bo-Katan was eventually going to be able to wield that dark saber because how she was wielding it when she saved Mando compared to how Mando is wielding it, it was meant to be for her for sure. But my question still remains, where is Moff Gideon? Because it seemed like in the last episode, they said that the Mandalorians were the ones that stole Moff Gideon from that hold ship that he was in. So do they have him captive? They're going to find him with them after they actually eventually take over, you know what I'm saying, the Night Owls, or what's going to happen next. So I'm happy the way this episode went. It was pretty dope. And I enjoyed it, man. If you don't watch The Mandalorian, I don't know what's wrong with you. You need to go check that out right now. Season 3 right now, I think it is. Yeah, season 3. And then go watch Boba Fett too. Get to watch this book of Boba Fett because there's a couple of Mandalorian episodes in there. And if you don't watch that, you'll be like, what the hell just happened? Just jumped in story and we don't know how this happened. So you probably want to watch that too. It wasn't bad. A lot of people didn't like it, but I didn't think it was terrible. You know what I'm saying? I just think Boba Fett's a badass. And just to have the same guy who was in the Star Wars actual movies be in the TV show was dope enough. Was dope enough. And for them to put a couple of Mandalorian episodes at the end, just kind of made the show better. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the worst. You know, it was dope. But another show that I kind of just watched that people are really talking about, Night Agent on Netflix is out right now. The whole season, about 10 episodes. Pretty dope show. I won't give it too much away if you haven't seen it yet, because I know a lot of people haven't seen it. But check it out if you like those kind of like government conspiracy type of shows. It's pretty good. It's not necessarily a government. Yeah, it is. It's just about this FBI agent dude who, in the beginning scene, you see it in the trailer, he saved the train from a bomb. And then in doing that, they reward him with the honor of sitting in this White House room. I guess it's just like four cement walls with a phone in there. And, some CIA agents will call on the phone if they need something, but the phone usually doesn't ring. He just talks to the people on the phone and helps them out if they call. So he just sits there, and then eventually one day the phone rings and he gets into some shit in the episode. It's a lot of shit going down. It stars Gabriel Busa as Peter Sutherland and Lucan Buchana as Rose Larkin. The acting is cool, you know what I'm saying? It's not the best acting in the world, and sometimes it can get kind of corny, but I think it's a really good watch. If there's some good, suspense in it. If you are watching it with a partner, I bet both of you guys it'll be like appointment watching, get you guys to watch that together. It'll be some good times. You know what I mean? It wasn't bad at all. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Some people put a little more sauce on it, but it was cool. Some stuff wasn't really realistic, and I feel like I've seen it before. I'm watching actually the whole Bourne Legacy right now, and that's pretty much how it is. And if you watch Rabbit Hole on Paramount Plus, it's like everything is kind of dealing with the same kind of conspiracy stuff, the same type of shit. And I think that's kind of like the move right now, especially with certain actors. Dude that played Peter, I feel like it'd be like a cool like Superboy or a Superman though. If you guys watch it, you guys let me know what you think about that. And then speaking of stuff that's coming out this week or today, you want to listen to this on Friday. Mario's in theaters now and Air's in theaters now, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see it this weekend, but I really want to see both. Mario, shoot, no, who doesn't want to see Mario? I still want to go to Mario Land and Universal Studios, man. I want to see Mario in Universal Studios. Shoot, they showing it there? Holler at me if they are. Give me an exclusive ticket. But yeah, the cast is gonna be hella dope. It's gonna be super nostalgic. I got a Switch right now. Me and V-Rons play Nintendo Switch all the time. Mario Kart, Mario Golf, Mario Party, Smash Bros, whatever it is, name it, we play it. You know what I'm saying? So to be actually, see a movie and see what they actually portray it as, actually it comes before they know who they are. You know what I'm saying? They actually meet all the characters. They're not really like Super Mario Brothers yet. They're just Mario and Luigi. You know what I mean? So it's an origin story type of thing. So that's going to be really cool to see how they portray that. And then as far as Air, of course, it's the Michael Jordan story about Jordans. You know how we rock, me and my boys, everybody everywhere wears Jordans all the time, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they portray Jordans being on the court for the first time, and the prestige and the majesticness that Michael Jordan puts on them by just putting him on the court, and the first time of them being on the court. And I wonder if they're gonna show Michael Jordan. You got Ben Affleck playing Phil Knight. There's a lot of stuff going on. Chris Tucker's in the movie. You got young Ben Affleck and what's the other guy's name? Why can't I? Matt Damon. Shoot, I was about to blank out right now. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting because I mean we heard about every other aspect of Michael Jordan's life, so I'm sure this movie's gonna be. Yeah, he probably had. It's interesting though because it's directed by Ben Affleck and he's a Boston guy, and for him to do a Jordan movie is interesting. But I'm sure he's smart enough to know that a movie about Jordan and Jordans is going to make a lot of money. And I wonder, I think they should release a shoe for the movie. You know what I mean? That'd be hella dope. You should holler at me. I got ideas all day. Movie sets. Just release a Air Jordan, like a quotation mark Air Jordan. Oh man, I'll be here all week. But yeah, that's the last topic I have for today, man. It's Friday. Go watch one of those movies I mentioned or one of those shows that I was talking about, man. I just rambled on for a long time. No guest, but we did it. We to the end of the episode. We're like, let you know where to find me at. By now, you already know where to find me at. It's SAC_Lydell on the Instagram, Patrick_Lydell on the Snapchat. Anywhere you want to find the best of bias, just type that thing in and you'll find me. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy. You'll see Growly up there. Just click that on the YouTubes. You guys have already been there. If you haven't been on the YouTubes yet, type in best of bias, like, subscribe, share, throw a comment in there if you want to be on the podcast. If you want some merch, we got a bunch of merch: dad hats, bucket hats, trucker hats, beanies. We getting the sweaters going. Ordering more this weekend too. So it's a lot of stuff going down, and I'm down to, spread the love to the family. It's the Best of Bias family. If you're listening to the podcast, you're family by now. Yeah, again, we're looking for guests. We got a bunch of different topics coming. I know Damien's been holding it down for a while, but I just talked to AKA. We can get AKA back on here for some show reviews and stuff. I know y'all been missing AKA. Chelsea's always down. John's always down. So I'm gonna diversify it a lot. You hear her snoring back there? She always be snoring out loud, especially when I'm trying to podcast. But yeah, a bunch of guests coming. I know it was just me today, and y'all been liking the guests. But let's run up this video too. It's your boy, Lydell Dinero. And enjoy you some Friday, man. Again, congratulations to LSU women's. Congratulations to UConn. And let's get ready for this playoff basketball, man. It's time. And it's your boy, Lydell Dinero, and I'm out of here, y'all. Peace, love, happiness. Where my theme song at? We out of here. It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
You are now listening to the Best of Bias podcast.